6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The President says ministerial posts are not a privilege but a great responsibility. The Prime Minister to table a proposal to the Cabinet of Ministers pertaining to amendments to the Constitution. The admissions to Grade 1 classes for the year 2022 in government schools will commence today. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has also announced an increase in fuel prices. The Parliament meets from today to the 22nd of this month. Health authorities request elders not to allow children to participate in protest campaigns. Face masks are not mandatory in public places from today. News overseas. The American military expects to train Ukrainians on using howitzer artillery. In sports, football, Cristiano Ronaldo and partner Georgina Rodrigue announced death of a baby boy. And those are the headlines. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that he believes that Sri Lanka should have gone for an IMF program much earlier. Speaking at the inauguration of the new cabinet, the president said that it was a mistake not to provide chemical fertilizers to farmers and that the government would take steps to provide chemical fertilizers again. The president requested the new cabinet not to provide employment to relatives and friends under their ministries. The president made these remarks yesterday while addressing the newly appointed cabinet ministers. A total of 17 cabinet ministers and 21 new state ministers were sworn in before President Gotabaya Rajapaksa yesterday. The president reminded that ministerial posts are not a privilege but a great responsibility. President Rajapaksa requested the new ministers to commit themselves to build honest, efficient and clean governance without using any additional privileges. He said the institutions under the purview of the respective ministers should be transformed into institutions free from corruption and should be dedicated to delivering an exemplary service to the public. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa is expected to table a proposal to the Cabinet of Ministers pertaining to amendments to the Constitution related to the executive, legislature and judiciary. The Office of the Prime Minister said requests from various factions pertaining to the forthcoming forming of a government that is accountable to the people have been brought to the attention of the Prime Minister. The Premier believes the amendments to the Constitution will help achieve the people's aspirations. The Education Ministry says the admission of students to Grade 1 classes for the year 2022 in government schools will commence today. The ministry spokesman said that the principals of schools identified have been notified in this regard. She said, however, there could be some delay in the admission of students to the first grade in schools where there are problems with the appeal lists. Meanwhile, the new school year 2022 started yesterday. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has announced an increase in its fuel prices with effect from last midnight. Accordingly, the new CPC fuel prices are as follows. Petrol Octane 92, 338 rupees per litre. Petrol Octane 95, 373 rupees per litre. Auto Diesel, 289 rupees per litre. Super Diesel, 329 rupees per litre. Meanwhile, Lanka IOC had also increased the price of all types of petrol by 35 rupees per litre and diesel by 75 rupees per litre. The Parliamentary Business Committee has decided to convene the Parliament from today to the 22nd to pass several special acts and orders. Several orders under the medical ordinance are scheduled to be taken up for debate and passed from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. today. A proposal on the extraordinary gazette issued on the 11th of January by the Finance Minister under Excise Ordinance and Customs Ordinance will be taken up for debate tomorrow. Time has been allocated for oral questions and answers from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on the days that the Parliament is meeting. Meanwhile, political party leaders in a meeting held with the Speaker yesterday have agreed to table the 19th Amendment once again in a move to abolish the 20th Amendment. As a result, the 19A will be tabled in Parliament soon with some amendments and the draft is being finalized. And that's local news. In main news, face masks will not be mandatory in public places with effect from yesterday. The Minister of Health, Channa Jayasumana, said face masks will, however, continue to be mandatory when travelling in public transportation and when at indoor events. The wearing of face masks was made mandatory since the outbreak of the coronavirus in 2020. And that's main news. And in Watchlight, consultant Dr. Deepal Pereira says that adults should not take their children who are under the age of 12 to participate in public demonstrations and protest campaigns, as the danger of COVID-19 spreading in social means remains in Sri Lanka. Since the chances of COVID-19 pandemic spread still persists, parents should act in a prudent manner and desist from taking their children to public demonstrations and protest campaigns. Dr. Pereira said that about 10 children are now being treated at Lady Ridgeway Hospital, Borella, for COVID-19. And that's Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
No matter what anyone says, for your lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines. The American military expects to train Ukrainians on using howitzer artillery. Ukrainians in Russia told to head for Estonia. Dramatic images appear to show sinking Russian warship Moskva. And those are the headlines of the World News. The American military expects to start training Ukrainians on how to use howitzer artillery in the coming days, a senior U.S. defense official said. The teaching is due to happen outside Ukraine, they added. Ukrainians equipped with know-how would then be able to re-enter their country to show others how to use the systems. The officials also said Russian forces were setting the conditions for a renewed push in eastern Ukraine. They said Russia had moved 11 battle groups into Ukraine in recent days. Ukraine says citizens taken to Russia against their will should try and make their way to neighboring Estonia. Arrangements have been made for them to receive consular help in the Estonian border city of Narva, said Ukraine's human rights ombudsman. Ukraine claims that thousands of people from occupied regions in the east, including the city of Mariupol, have been forcibly taken to Russia. It is not something that the BBC has been able to verify. Moscow denies the accusations. Dramatic pictures and a credible video showing the Russian warship Moskva before it sank last week have appeared online. The video and images match the shape and the design of the missile cruiser. Russia says a fire on board caused munitions to explode and the vessel sank as it was being towed in a storm. Ukraine says it with missiles. And that's World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
For your wheel lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by... Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
An agreement was signed between CMCT Cement Lanka Limited, INSI Cement, and Hambantota International Port Group HIPG for the construction of the largest warehouse facility in Sri Lanka for dry bulk cargo inside a port. The warehouse, which will store raw materials used in the production of the cement, will have a capacity of 45,000 cubic meters. It will be built on an area of 17,300 cubic square meters in the Hambantota Port Industrial Park. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by... The coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
Football. Manchester United footballer Cristiano Ronaldo and partner Georgina Rodrick have announced the death of their baby boy, saying it is the greatest pain that any parents can feel. The Portugal international 37 and Rodrick 28 were expecting twins. Their baby girl survived, and they said a birth gives them the strength to live this moment with some hope and happiness. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Love supermarkets are rewarding their customers with the offer this Aurdu season. Everyone who meets the promotion's requirements will receive a complimentary essential item. The offer extends the rewards to all customers without limiting the number of customers through a raffle draw promotion. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
In economic news, the construction industry, one of the largest industries in Sri Lanka, which contributes approximately 9.6% to the Sri Lanka's GDP and employs indirectly over 1 million people, has submitted 6 proposals through its apex body, Ceylon Institute of Builders, CIOB. A president of CIOB, Dr. Rohan Karunaratne, in a press release says they have requested the newly appointed team to take the best use out of the construction industry to help the country. And that was economic news. And finally, we have the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in Sabarakamu, Central, North Central and Eastern provinces during the evening or night. Several spells of showers may occur in the Western province and in Galle, Mathura and Puttalam districts. And that was weather report. To wind up the news broadcast this morning, let's look at the main points once again. The President says ministerial posts are not privilege, but a great responsibility. The Prime Minister to table a proposal to the Cabinet of Ministers pertaining to amendments to the Constitution. The admissions to Grade 1 classes for the year 2022 in government schools will commence today. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has also announced an increase in fuel prices. The Parliament meets from today to the 22nd of this month. Health authorities request elders not to allow children to participate in protest campaigns. Face masks are not mandatory in public places from today. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.